to tonight's episode of Matchmaker Secrets, where we talk about love, dating, and relationships, and of course, matchmaking. And actually, I'm so excited because we have a special guest tonight, and seldom we come across celebrities. And so aricaangelo has been named top 10 relationship coach by Yahoo Finance and TV host of Bravo's international show called Love Without Borders. Hello, Erica. How are you?
I am fantastic. Can you just announce me like this every morning? I will wake up in the best mood. That was incredible.
Yes, I'm so excited. So maybe we can start the ball rolling. Like everybody wants to hear about you. Okay, so I know that you have traveled all around the world. So what were the interesting differences you have noticed about people dating practices in different countries?
I think that that's such a great question. Yes, it's very different. You know, Americans, we have this culture of I'll continue to date you, but I'm going to date several people all at once. But if you're in Europe, it's very different. If you're dating one person and you see them consistently, and their mind, you're dating. It's not like we need to have a conversation about being exclusive. It's just, no, we're seeing each other, and why would you be seeing other people? So it's a different culture in Europe. And as opposed to the way we would date in America. Living in Bali, tons of digital nomads there. So you have people who want relationship, but they're living for the moment, they're having fun. So instead of really setting themselves up to win in relationships, it's more of like hooking up and wondering why it doesn't work out and becoming a long-lasting relationship. So there, it's completely different. It's mainly centered around hooking up very quickly, and then hoping that that gets into relationship.
Oh my God. No, that's so amazing because you identify that in the United States, a lot of people are trying to date as many people at the same time. And obviously it's funny because like the most of the books are coming from the United States. So like imagine what the people are reading. Okay, this is the norm. Like, you know, maybe that has been like copied by a lot of people in different countries, and come to think about it, like even the most of the celebrities are coming from the United States. So whatever culture we have imparted and shown in the movies, that's what people thought, okay, that's the norm. And so we follow that. Oh my God, that's so horrible. I should say, because like we have been an example for a lot of people. Oh my God. So I know that you know you've seen these differences, but what are the commonalities that you have discovered so far?
You know, human beings, we are human beings, and we are all made for that connection. So we want someone to have as a companion. We want someone that will hold us. We want someone who will be there on our dark days, on our good days. When something good happens, we want that person that we can go to and be like, this amazing thing just happened. Like no matter what country you're in, those basic human needs for connection, that doesn't change anywhere in the world. Everyone still has that need.
Oh, well, that's good to know. Because, like, you know, we don't want to be alone. Maybe, like, you know, when God created the world, like, that's what they said. Adam and Eve showed up. And so, like, they want something like a long-lasting relationship so that they'll have somebody to be together through rough times and good times and have joy. So,
Yeah.
what are the main reasons why you think singles are not successful in finding love? You're the master in this.
Yeah. So I think we have, in our day and age, I think there's a couple of things going on here. One, we have so many choices with apps, with mobility in our world. I mean, we can just, now we have Airbnb, we have Google Maps, we have transportation that we can coordinate from our phone. There's so much choice available. And there's that saying that a confused mind does nothing. And so because we have all this, we're confused and we don't actually make choices. I think one thing that I'm hoping that we're coming to reconcile with is that we have to heal ourselves. We have to face our traumas. We have to face our wounds, because I think that also creates a bit of pause for us, a bit of fear, a bit of trepidation, because we hear so much of divorce. But what we don't understand is there's so much divorce because people are choosing partners out of pain, out of survival, out of society standards. And we're not making conscious choices from our heart. We can't get access to our heart if we're constantly running from it, because maybe there's pain that's unresolved there. And so I think we singles look at the byproduct and they go, oh, there's just so many problems in relationship. It's like, no, we're not this powerless. There are solutions, but the solution is that instead of looking outside of yourself, you have to look inside of yourself.
So you go through this process of finding out different things of the past with your clients. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. My first question always is, what did your parents teach you about love?
Mm.
And that is the telltale sign of how the rest of your relationships typically will pan out. If you've not looked inside, if you've not sat with those experiences, if you've not felt your way through them, acknowledged them, gained some clarity, some healing, some truth and insight into that, it just becomes part of your subconscious programming that you continue to hit on repeat for the rest of your life. And it's not necessary. You don't have to, but most of the time, it's scary to do that. And so people find comfort in being distracted and running away, as opposed to actually getting some real resolve in their lives.
Yeah. So the people who are watching us are not just singles, meaning they don't have children, but some of them have children. So maybe you can share what tips can you give to those single mom or dad for their children to embrace, so that I can actually heal from their wound. Because obviously their relationship is not going to be replicated from what is happening with their child.
Yes. I think one of the most beautiful things that you can do, which I think is healthy for a parent to do, and I think it's healthy for teaching a child, is having that conversation with them of just saying, essentially the premise is like, how am I impacting you? Like, when I yelled at you the other day, how did that make you feel? How did you experience that? Where in your body did that hurt? It's having a real conversation of saying, like, as a parent, how are my choices? How are the ways that I'm responding and reacting to you? Tell me how that's impacting you. How is that making you feel? How can I do better? And what you're doing is you're teaching your child resiliency, to have emotional fortitude, emotional intelligence, and also teaching them, like, this is how you connect with people emotionally. You have conversations with them, because otherwise then it's just me against you, and that's not relationship. Relationship is, let's sit together and let's figure out how you and I are impacting one another. And so based on the child's age, you can, change that question. How did mommy make you feel when she slammed the door and said, not right now? And really sit with that and not take offense. And so then that teaches that kid, like, it's safe for me to say how I feel. It's safe for me to confront maybe some hard conversations, or mommy really cares what's going on inside of me. And as you do that for your child, you're also opening up the door for yourself to have that permission, because you're holding that container for them. And it's like, wait a minute, this is the same container that I need to have in my own relationships as well. So you're teaching yourself as you're teaching your child.
That's great. So you're having that conversation of being able to express self. So I like that questioning, how did it make you feel? I love that. And so they can practice that already with their child, and then once they find another relationship, they can practice it again.
Yeah. And I think, listen, feedback is very important for all of us, whether it's in relationships, in our career, always getting that continuous feedback, even though we may not like it, it may not feel fun. It's the real honest mirror that we need. It's like, how am I showing up? Because, there are times that we either think we're doing a really great job, and maybe we're missing the mark, or some of us are very hard on ourselves and we don't realize what we're doing right. We'll never know those answers until we ask questions and we ask for that personal feedback.
Awesome. That's great. And I take note also of that idea you shared, that we have too many conveniences. Like you have apps for everything. And so I think, like, convenience, the word convenience actually has been labeled as strongly, because like people say like, oh, okay, I don't like that guy next, so they, whatever is convenient for them is like what they're looking for. Like, okay, I wasn't picked up, so maybe I find somebody else who's gonna pick me up from where I'm coming from. So yeah, I think like the word convenience has messed up a lot of people. So so
And I want to say something to that, if that's okay. I
yeah.
think that we also, it creates this illusion that somebody is going to show up in our life, the right person. We're just waiting on the right person to show up in our life, and that's going to change everything. No, the right person is a person you're facing in the mirror. And I have this saying of, everywhere I go, there I am. And so most of the time we think, oh, if I just change location, if I just move to a different country, or if I just change the person that I'm seeing, if I just change my house, if I change my clothes, if I change. And it's like we're trying to escape ourselves. And it's like, no, it doesn't matter, that the next person you get in a relationship with is going to have the same problems because you're still involved, and you're not taking accountability for the things that you added to the relationship that caused it to fail. It takes two people, and you can't keep brushing that off and thinking, oh, it's just the next person, it's all going to be better. It's not, because you're still going to be there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's right. Like, they're always looking at the next greener pasture, next, like swipe, swipe, swipe. And so, like, they never, focusing what's in front of them as well. Like, you're right. Like, your priorities yourself. Yeah. And so, I understand that you were in Love Without Borders. So, what were some important lessons you would like to share that were not covered? Because obviously the show has been like cut, 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 because like they have to be fit in a certain schedule.
Right. One of the things I feel like that the audience, it was a huge disservice that the audience didn't get to see, was you really didn't get to hear each person's story. And
Mm,
that's crazy. That's crazy information that we human beings need to know, even in day-to-day relating. You cannot really understand a person and their path unless you know their story. And so the whole time I was traveling in America and meeting each of the singles, each of them shared so vulnerably. I think every single person except for one, all of them cried, and there was a part of their story that was so powerful, and the viewer, I don't think, got to connect with that. And so if you don't hear a person's story, you can't have compassion for them. And I felt like that was a big personal piece of the story that really got chopped down for time's sake, or for whatever reason the producers chose to do that. But it really, I felt like, did the cast a disservice, and also the audience, because you didn't really understand why these people were reacting the way that they were, or why they were making the choices they were. And I'm like, if you had really gotten to hear their story, you would understand, and you would empathize with them.
my God, I love that. Because how many reality shows are there, and then like whatever is shown is the only thing that we understand, and then we judge them right away. Oh, okay, that person is nasty. Like that is like so judgmental or whatever. But you're right. We don't know like how come they became like that.
And it to me, it's so stupid because, you see like the talent shows where people sing and all that. And who's the person that you always connect with that you want to win, like American Idol or all these? It's the person where it's like, I came from poverty and my mom was a single mom and she was believing in me and I failed and I failed. And then now this is my opportunity. You hear that person's story, you start championing them, you're rooting for them, you're cheering for them, you empathize with them. Maybe some of their story is a bit of your story, and so it's like it creates that bond, that connection, and you're like, we are all one, and you're cheering for them. So I feel like when you watch these talent shows, they really do a good job. I felt like with this, we didn't nail that for
Mm.
our audience or for our cast.
Yeah, I love this sharing. So, knowing what you know now, if you can be the producer of the show, what would you like to be emphasized about finding love?
I would emphasize that it's not always moving to a different location, and it's not about the country, and it's not about finding the right person. It's about, are you really clear that you are in a position to not only be loved, but to also love? And so there was one person in the show that really, like, they were very focused and intent on that, and that person did find love. And some of the other people, you could just, as you heard their story, as you could see their walls come up, it's like, it doesn't matter what country you put them in, they just, they were not, and still are not ready to be loved and to love. To be loved is a very vulnerable thing. You have to let someone in and see your weaknesses, see your greatness, but also see where maybe you're not as wonderful as you put on to the rest of the world that you are, and to allow that person to still love you in those places. That's not easy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Unbelievable. I really enjoyed this conversation because, like, obviously we cannot be able to cover all those things which have happened in the show because, like, I'm sure there were a lot of details, like, only the people at the back of the camera knows, or like, all those people who have been a part of the show. But obviously, like, yeah, like at the end, like, okay, we try to do the best as we can, but yeah. So thank you so much again, Erica, for this time. And we're always looking for resource speakers, either professionals in the industry or those people who are looking for relationships, and of course those singles who have been successful, or those people who have already been married and they have a lot of secrets that they can actually share. Sometimes, like, it's through the experience that people have had that you can actually gain something. And so thank you again, Erica, for this opportunity. And then we'll see you soon.
Yes, thank you.